Hello everyone and welcome to or welcome back to Tinderlos Gaming, and welcome to episode 1 of my playthrough of Hellboy the board game. Hellboy is probably one of my favourite characters, comic characters, collecting loads and loads of the comics. Got some up on the back cave on the wall here. So had the board game, got the expansion, played it a while back, and it was time to get it back on the table. So without too much further ado, let's get across to the table and see what's going on. And here we are at the table, all set up to play the BPRD case file from Beyond the Stars. This episode, as always with board games, going to keep to about an hour or so. So these will be multiple, hopefully multiple episodes. Like nice and easy, an hour or so, easy watching for people. Now, this episode, as you'd expect, is going to be a little bit of setup, an explanation of Hellboy the board game. It's not a tutorial. Please don't use this as a way of setting up your game, although I think I've done pretty well. But I'll take you through how to set the game up, who we're playing, what the mission is, some of the mechanics of how the game plays, and then we'll play some turns this episode. Hopefully we'll get a couple of turns in. So with Hellboy, in this is one of the original case files. You get a whole load of cards and you sort of work through them with setup and how to lay the map out and all that sort of stuff. What I am going to do on a later playthrough, that comes with a really cool mechanic. It gives you a construction deck and you can construct your own missions, which I really been looking forward to and want to do. This is one of those board games as well that I like so much. I've actually started to paint the miniatures, which is really good as well. So what are we doing? So it says from Beyond the Stars, and I'll read out what it says on the card here. Well, it's challenge rating hard and duration long. So we'll see how we go with it. It says Hunter Castle, Germany. In the 30s, this was the site of some very peculiar goings-on involving a secret Nazi space program. Tick. An army of well-funded mystics. Tick. And a large explosion that put an end to both. In the years since, the government has pieced together several theories, but 2 days ago a comet was discovered on a direct course for Earth. A closer look has confirmed it's a Nazi space probe, as insane as that idea might be. We think it was launched from Hunter in 1939, just before the whole place got blown sky high. Now, something's calling it back. We think it's manned or at least remote controlled, probably from the castle. But that's where we're headed. We don't know what happens when it lands and would rather not find out. Get in there and deal with whatever you find. Time is of the essence, so don't dawdle. It then gives you a setup. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. That gives you sort of how to lay out the deck of doom. The deck of doom is this thing here. That's sort of like the mechanic for the game to play against you. Then we've got encounter card setup, which is what I've laid out on the board, and also the board layout. Okay, so that's that. That goes off to one side. We're finished with that part of the case file. Then we've got this case file bit here, which says put an insight marker on spaces 2, 5, 8 and 12 on the information gathered track, which is this thing here. What this allows us to do as we get clues and investigate the map, we hopefully will get these tokens here, which usually help you in the end boss. There's always an end boss. It's called a confrontation, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But getting these markers off will help us when it comes, or should help us when it comes to the end of the game. It says put a reaction marker on this card and its matching trigger marker on the following space of the impending doom track. So I've used a marker A and there's a marker A here. The doom track is the bad thing. Insight track is the good thing. Doom track is the bad thing. Generally speaking, again, I don't know because I've not played this. I've not played this case file. When we get to this, that's when the confrontation begins. But I don't know. It could be something completely different. So marker A and marker A is on this card, and it says, because we're playing 3 agents, we put it on space 9, which is there. It says if the impending doom marker reaches the trigger marker, or if all agents are knocked out at the same time, skip to the end phase, flip this card at the end of that phase. Move this card to the in-play area, discard it after, or discard it if the confrontation begins. I should be putting them up here as an in-play area, but I thought I'd put them over here just to create a little bit of space. So there's A on there and A on there. We then read this. These are all numbered as well. So when you get the case file, they're all in the right order, so you can read them as you go. This says, the journey to the castle is fairly uneventful, and you soon find your way into one of the lower floors. Looks like the place is crawling with Nazis. It doesn't take you long to get your bearings, having studied maps of the place. If you're right, you're not far from the old Nazi command centre. If they're controlling the pod remotely, that's probably where they're doing it from. The plans also mention a generator room. Cutting the power might be a good way of putting their plans on hold, even if it's in the opposite direction. No time to waste. It looks like you've got 3 choices. Hit the Nazi HQ, hit the generator room, or split up and hit both at once. Put a reaction marker on this card and its matching trigger marker on space 10 of the information gathered track. If the information marker is reached, flip this card. Move this card to the in-play area. Discard this card if the confrontation begins. So, when you put your encounter deck together, it actually specifically told me to put the Nazi HQ up here and the generator room down here in counter cards. So we know that's the HQ, that's the generator room. And then we move to this card here. It says prepare the minion slots as follows. Minion A, a Nazi knife fighter. Minion B, a Nazi rifleman. Minion C, a Nazi officer. And Minion D, a Nazi machine gunner. Move this card to the in-play area along with the card beneath it. Do not look at that card. Keep it under this one. If the room with the generator and counter card is explored, flip this card. Discard this card and the card beneath it if the confrontation begins. So that's telling us, generally again in these case files, it tells us we've got 4 slots for minions, which are these things over here underneath this control deck. Now, Nazi knife, well, let's have a look at the layout of a card. So that's a Nazi night fighter. It's got, it's a minion, military and a brawler. It's got a move of 2, so it's going to move 2 spaces, or sorry, 2 spaces. These are all broken down into 4s and 2s and stuff like that. It's got a resilience of 1, which means it's effectively armor. So when we roll in to damage it, we're going to take 1 off any wounds we do. It's got a health of 4. It's got a 0 range, so it's obviously just a melee fighter. No ranged attack and a melee attack of 5. Now, when a minion attacks, it's very, very straightforward. It does 5 damage. You as the character roll your defense. And if you roll, we're obviously looking to roll more than 5. There's no rolling for the actual attack itself. It's just done a straight 5 attack or 5 damage. And then we roll. And we'll see that as we go along. But he's also got a special rule, quick with the blade. If the target of this enemy's melee attack rolls a skull when testing defense, this enemy immediately makes another attack in addition to the normal effect of the skull result. I'll come on to skulls and the dice in a second. So that's a Nazi knife fighter. Then we've got a Nazi rifleman, move of 2, resilience of 1, 5 health, a range of 5, so it can shoot 5 squares, a ranged attack of 7, and a melee attack of 4. So if he's going to shoot us, he's hitting us for 7 damage. If he's going to attack us with a melee, he's going to hit us for 4. He's got crack shot, and again, when testing defense against this enemy's ranged attack, agent's dice cannot be upgraded in any way, and any scenery in their area is ignored. Nice little mechanic in this game. As you're shooting through things, we get to upgrade dice. But again, might not be making too much sense at the moment, but as we play through and I show you, you'll know what that means. Then we've got a Nazi officer. A move of 2, resilience of 1, health of 5, range of 2, ranged attack of 6, and a melee attack of 5. And he's got discipline. Other minions with the military tag, and they all have got the military tag, add 1 to their ranged attack value when they're in the same room as at least one Nazi officer. Patrol. When this enemy is set up a Nazi rifleman in the same area if one is available. So he comes in with a fella. With a subordinate. And then finally, we've got a Nazi machine gunner, move of 2, resilience of 1, 5 health, range of 4, ranged attack of 8, melee attack of 3, and he's got hail of bullets. When this enemy makes a ranged attack, it targets the visible area that contains the most agents, using target priority if necessary, and targets each agent in that area. Any agent that suffers damage is stunned. He's nasty. So there's a few things there. It mentions target priority. And another nice little mechanic in this game, you see these sort of busts that I've got. There's Hellboy, there's Lobster Johnson. They're on this track down here. So this person here at the front is the target priority. So anything that tells us to, anytime we target somebody, we're going to target the front model here. As you do that, let's say, for example, Hellboy's targeted, he moves to the back of the queue and everybody else moves forward like that. Nice little mechanic. What tells us how to lay out the initial target priority is on the cards here. It tells us what their target number is. So Lobster Johnson's 8, Horned Hellboy is 10, and Abe Sapien is 6. Hence the reason why they're in that order. I've mentioned the Deck of Doom. It tells us exactly how to play or exactly what cards to use. And again, we'll see these as we go on, but I will shuffle them whilst we're on screen. Then we come to our characters. Each character has a number of different elements to it. First of all, it gets 3 action cubes to represent its actions in a turn. What I again like about this game is effectively there is no turn order. I could spend 1 action for Lobster, do something, and then I could spend 1 action or 2 actions for Hellboy, and him can do 2 things, and then I could spend 1 action cube for Abe. You just keep going until all agents have spent their action cubes. You do not have to spend all action cubes in one go, in one packet. So there's a nice lot of synergy about, especially if you're playing this with other people. You're always sort of got, oh, okay, well, I could do this, or I could do that, or you could do that, and then I could do this, and I could do that. I like that about this game. So action cubes, three actions effectively per character. If we could look at Lobster Johnson's setup, I'm not going to put the card over there or anything like that. You can see there's these icons here. You've got a fight icon, a ranged icon, an examine icon, and a defense icon, and they're all different colors, and that relates to these dice here. Lowest level dice is yellow. It's got 1s on it, it's got a few blanks. It's the lowest ranking of the dice. Then you've got orange, which obviously Lobster has got quite a number of his icons are orange. Again, a couple of blanks, but they've got some 2s on it and a 1. Then you go up to red, slightly better, or getting towards a good end. You've got 3s on here, you've got 1s, you've got 1, 3, couple of 2s, and that. And then you've got black, which is the highest level dice. And that is really good. That's got 4s and 3s on it. So in order, yellow not too good, orange not too bad, red getting better, black the best. You also got this dice here, which is, what do they call it? I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a special dice. The BPRD dice. That's what it's called, the BPRD dice. So this one has got all sorts of stuff on it. It's got ×2, it's got a 2 wounds, it's got a re-roll, it's got a single wound, it's got the BPRD symbol, which means you can choose any one of the faces, and it's got a skull. The skull, I'll come back to. But let's just take an example here. So let's say Lobster Johnson was doing a ranged attack. He's got orange dice. Lovely. He's got action cubes available to him. So he could spend one of those action cubes to upgrade one of these dice. So 1 orange goes to 1 red. And then obviously we are increasing the amount we can do. You cannot then spend another dice to upgrade to black. You can only upgrade 1 dice once. But I could spend another action cube to upgrade to 2 red. And again, obviously that's then making us roll better, do more damage, examine better, that type of stuff. Let's say that's our roll. We roll a 2, a 1 and a 1. But we also roll the skull dice. Unfortunately, what that means is the highest dice available gets taken away. So it only hit for 2. If we rolled a ×2, we'd do that on the highest dice, so that would become a 4. So we'd have done 4, 5, 6. If we'd have done a 2, that's just a straight +2. Again, we'll see that as we play through the game. What else have we got? Each character has unique actions and special rules. So, for example, with Lobster Johnson, he's got the special rule of unearthly insight. If an agent in Lobster Johnson's room spends or rolls a skull, you may spend an action cube to let them re-roll it. The new roll cannot be re-rolled. That's really cool for Lobster. He can stop the skull dice. Does cost him an action. He's got a legend in death. If Lobster Johnson is knocked out, roll an orange dice in the end phase. On a score of 2, he heals all wounds and injuries, then set him up in any room containing no other characters, or the room with the fewest characters in that empty room. Interestingly, about areas and rooms, this is an area. This is an area. This is a room. So if we were, Lobster was in there and Hellboy was in there, then they're in the same area. If Hellboy was over there, they're in the same room. So here, for an example, unearthly insight, if the agent in Lobster Johnson's room rolls it, so Hellboy was to roll a skull, then we could spend the action cube to let him re-roll it. Finally, he's got vengeance. When testing defense, spend a BPRD result, so that result, we could then inflict 2 damage on the attacker. He's got unique actions. Spend an action cube, mark of the claw, put the action cube on the enemy in your area to mark it. You gain 1 upgrade on any shoot or fight actions targeting a marked enemy. In the end phase, either leave the cube on the enemy or refresh it. Discard the cube when the enemy is defeated. He's going to spend 2 action cubes to make up to 3 shoot actions. So he's bang, 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 bang. And he's got 2 action cubes, mysterious exit. Use this action when Lobster Johnson is in a room that does not contain any other characters. Remove him, then set him up in any other explored room that does not contain any other characters. So we can poof and poof out of the way. He's got some starting cards. So each character comes with starting cards and it gives them some nice little bonuses. He comes with the lobster goggles and paired pistols. So let's have a look at the lobster goggles. It's black and it's got the thing on it to say starting card. Flip this card at any time to activate the goggles. So we would flip it, turns it over to its active side, and it says upgrade 1 dice on all shoot and examine tests. Downgrade 1 die on all fight and defense tests. Flip this card for free at any time at the start of any agent phase. So he can get better at shooting, better at examining clues, but he's not so good at defending and fighting. Bearing in mind his defense is yellow, that's not particularly good. Well, it is good, but obviously you don't want him to be defending. He comes with his starting card of his paired pistols. It's a melee, and obviously it's for it's ranged and it's for Lobster Johnson. And it says ranged weapon. You can re-roll 1 blank test die when making a shoot action. If you roll a skull when using this weapon, flip the card. In addition to the normal effects of the skull result. Hellboy. He's got a fight of red. He's got a ranged of yellow, an examine of orange, and a defense of orange. He's got a special rules, boom. Whenever Hellboy hits an enemy with a fight action, the enemy may be hurled. So you can chuck them at other enemies, which is really cool. Fire resistant, as you'd expect. He never suffers more than 1 fire damage from a simple attack or an effect. There's fire in this game as well, and hopefully we won't see too much of that. And shake it off. When testing fight, spend a BPRD result to heal 2 damage. So he's quite good. I mean, he's sort of a bit of a multi-class horned Hellboy. I've gone for the horned Hellboy version. There are obviously there's the classic Hellboy version as well, but I do like the horned Hellboy version. He's got some unique actions. Follow up, 1 action cube, make a fight action. Once it's been resolved, you may move Hellboy into an adjacent area following the normal movement rules. His classic sort of signature attack is called the big right hook, and it costs 2 actions. Make a fight action. If you hit, the target suffers 3 additional damage and is stunned and hurled. Bosh. And then he's got throw furniture for 2. Remove a piece of scenery in Hellboy's area. Then pick a visible enemy within 2 areas. That enemy is stunned and suffers damage equal to the scenery size plus a roll of an orange dice. Again, there's cardboard scenery that comes. I've got actually the 3D stuff as well, but I'm just going to use the cardboard stuff today. It can throw scenery. He has got Hellboy's pistols, which isn't great because he's rolling yellow. It's a ranged weapon, but if you hit, it suffers an additional 5 damage. So that's pretty bosh. And then you flip it after you use it. I won't flip that. We'll find out when we do that. He's also, his starting card, he comes with deep pockets, which is flip this card and during the agent phase to draw from the bottom of the requisition deck until you find those types of cards, and then keep it and return the others to the deck. So he can grab hold of anything he needs. And then we've got Abe Sapien, who's got a fight of orange, a ranged of red, an examine of orange, and a defense of yellow. So 2 yellow defense characters, but hopefully Abe's not going to be going anywhere near, or not too much near any melee or anything like that. But we're going to have to watch out for ranged, which could be a problem for us. He's got special rules, agile, When Abe makes the move, he can move up to 3 areas and suffer no damage when evading enemies. You do take damage when you go through, or you have to drag enemies with you. Rapid healing. When the agents take time, Abe heals 2 damage. And quick reflexes. When testing fight or shoot, spend a BPRD result to return an action cube to Abe's agent board, which is really nice. He's then got some unique actions, which is 1 action cube, strong arm, hurl an enemy in Abe's area. So he just picks one up and chucks them. He's got 2 action cubes, precision shot, make a shoot action, ignoring all scenery and all characters other than the target. So he can shoot into things with no problem at all. And then he's got 2 action cubes, slip away, remove Abe from the board, place one of the action cubes that was spent to make this action in the area he was in. It's not refreshed until the end of the next end phase. At the start of the next agent phase, remove the cube and return Abe to that area. So again, he can sort of poof out and in a pinch, come back later on. He has got a couple of starting items. He's got his sidearm, which is a ranged weapon. If you roll a skull when using this weapon, flip this card in addition to its normal effects. And he's got his harpoon. Melee weapon, upgrade 1 dice on each fight. Test using this weapon, flip this card to use it as a ranged weapon, adding 4 to the test score. So that's quite nice. It'd be nice to have that as a ranged weapon. Okay. Also, with this game, when you're setting everything up, depending on the number of agents you're taking, you get some requisition points. And for 3 characters, we get to spend 7 requisition points. So I'll go through each. You can't really see them because I can't fit everything in. It's quite a table-intensive game. But each of the characters have spent some money on some requisition. So Lobster Johnson, because he's a bit of a ranged, he's got it costs 1 requisition, which is that 1 in the circle, and it says, oh, it's armor piercing ammo. Spend an action cube to flip this card and tuck it under the weapon with the range. You can do this without spending your action cube when you reload. So basically what this is going to do is we count the resilience as being 2 lower. So those resilience 1, they've got no armor at all. We don't want to run out of ammo. He's also, so that costs 1. He's also got a lucky charm. And we can flip it to ignore any damage or all damage inflicted on your agent by a single attack or game effect. So that's quite nice to just stop some damage coming in. Hellboy, let's go Abe, because Abe has got basically exactly the same thing as Lobster, armor piercing ammo. Hellboy has got a lucky charm as well, but he's also got the ancient blade, which is a melee weapon fight. When you fight with this weapon, you get 1 upgrade. And if you roll a BPRD, then double the result of 1 test in addition to any other outcome. That's quite nice. And he's got iron shoes, which is spend an action to move up to 2 areas and then make a fight action against each enemy in the area you've moved into. Then discard this card. So he can run into a room full of people and start smacking them. Final thing, I think for setup, is each character has a number of wounds. Lobster's got 4, Horned Hellboy's got 6, and Abe has got 5. So basically what happens when you take wounds, you've got these little tokens here, and I'll put some out. These are all, I've got no idea. They're double-sided, so they'll come in with these things on them here like that. So they're going to give us minuses when we flip them. Again, getting ahead of myself there a little bit. We'll put some there so we can see them. So basically, when you take a wound, let's say Lobster Johnson's taken a wound, he's going to put that there to mark it there like that. So he's taken 1 wound. Once he gets all 4 filled, so let's say he's filled all 4 of them up, and then he takes another damage, that's when we start flipping. So that would give us -1 examination. Once all of those are filled or flipped, if you then take another damage, you're down. You're never out in this game. You can get back up, which is quite cool. But that's how the wound system works. So first of all, we put the blank side down, and then we start taking additional wounds. We flip them over. But again, hopefully, we'll see that as we play through the game. I've got quite a few here. They're all mixed up. I'll put some in the middle there so we can. Oh, let's put those there like that. Right. I think we're there. I think we're there. Now, in regards to a game turn or a round summary, the first thing is the enemy phase. Second phase is the agent phase. Third phase is the rest phase if you want to do it. The fourth phase is the doom phase, and the fifth phase is the end phase. I think that's pretty much it. I haven't played this game for a while, so I'd be interested to see how I get on with it. And then we'll go from there. But I think probably the best thing to do is to actually start playing. We're half an hour in. Done all my setup. Can't think there's anything else I've missed. Here we've got the card. There's some more cards here as we go through it. So it says begin the first round. If an agent makes an explorer action on the room with the Nazi HQ encounter, flip this card before revealing the encounter card. So I suppose the question is, let's start playing. So the first phase would be the enemy phase. There aren't any enemies on the board. So we then move into the agents phase. So basic actions, we can move up to 2 areas, including diagonally. For each enemy in an area you leave, take 1 damage or move them with you. We can fight, we can shoot, we can examine, we can interact, and we can clear. Free actions, we can trade. That's not possible if enemies are in your area. And you can explore only when an area with a door, when there's a door to an unexplored room. So, there's 3 of us. 2 of them are a little bit squishy, with Abe and Lobster being yellow defense and less wounds. I mean, they've got shenanigans, but I'm not. My first question, or my first decision, is do we split the party up? And I think the answer is no. We do not split the party up. I think. So I think first action. We'll go with Lobster Johnson to start off with. And the very first thing he's going to do is going to flip his goggles to make them active. And he's going to spend one of his actions to load the armor-piercing ammo to his pistols. So we're getting a bit of a shot there. He's then going to do a free action, which is to explore this encounter, or this room. So we're going to open the door up, and what I'll do is I'll take the door off. Once they've been explored, I'll take the door off. And then basically what we do is we flip over this encounter card. and it tells us what to put in the room. Now, because this is a what to put in the area, because this is a 2-room or 2 spaces, whenever you do this, the first and second one's going to go in the nearest to the agent, and the third and fourth is going to go into the further away room. With 4 space rooms, you start off here and you work your way around clockwise, but again, we'll see. So we need a frog spawn and a minion C and a clue in the first part, and a minion B, a clue, and a minion D in the second part. Right, bear with me. Okay, so we've set up the characters and minions and stuff. So we've got a frog spawn and a minion C, which is Nazi officer. He's come in, and he comes in with one of his mates, a rifleman. So that's that area, and a clue, which is this little grey thing here. And then we've got a minion B, which is a Nazi rifleman, come in here with a clue, which is this thing here, and a minion D, which is a Nazi machine gunner. Wow, that's a hefty room. So that was a free action from Lobster. So what we're going to do now? Well, I'm going to spend 2 action cubes for Lobster, and he's going to do Hail of Lead. Make up to 3 shoot actions. Now the frog spawn, which are these things here, that they're not minions. They're just they're really actually annoying. So you can't actually shoot them or target them. You can clear them, and I'll come to that in a bit. But they're there, and what they do is it says swarms of frogs will often infest areas of the board as an ominous reminder of the ever-present threat of Ogdra Jihad. Important. When an agent makes a test, they receive a downgrade for each frog swarm in their area. Agents can use a clear action to remove frog swarms, and they should. If frog swarms are allowed to build up, this will lead to the advancement of the impending doom track in the end phase, page 20. So they downgrade dice when you're in your area. Now, I'm not technically in their area. I'm in this room here. So Lobster Johnson is going to shoot, and I think where he's going to go first is the rifleman, because his ranged attack is 7. So I'm going to target him first. So Lobster gets 3 orange dice as normal. But he also gets goggles are active, so he gets to upgrade one of his dice to a red. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So we're shooting at the rifleman. Let's see what we get. Not a great roll. So we get 3. We're going to be doing 3 damage to the rifleman. His health of 5. But I do get to actually. So let's change that to a 2, which is what we can do for the BPRD. So that gives us a damage of 5. We know the armor piercing ammo reduces the resilience by 2 or lower. So the rifleman's got a resilience of 2. He's got a health of 5. So that is that rifleman done. That's the first shot of Lobster Johnson's 3 shoot actions. He is then going to do his second shot, and we're going to target the officer. Oh, I had range paired pistols. You can re-roll 1 blank dice to when you make a shoot action. So I could have re-rolled that. Yeah, cool. We still killed him. then we're going to shoot this one. So same, we've got the upgrade from the goggles. See what we get. Oh, wow. Okay, the Nazi officer's got a health of 5. We can re-roll, because of paired pistols, you can re-roll 1 blank dice when making a shoot action. So that's 7. We'll change that to a ×2. So that's 6. That's 10 damage to the Nazi officer, which is enough to kill him. And then for my third shot, I'm going to target the machine gunner, because I can shoot across. I can shoot into other rooms. Range for characters. You can shoot into other rooms. Now, what I should have done, I've made a bit of a mistake, I think. So we've got. It wouldn't have made. I don't think it would have made a lot of difference. We start off with 3 orange dice. We then upgrade to red because of the goggles. Now, because there's another character in this room, it's sort of like representing him standing in front, I have to downgrade a dice, which is what I should have done first time, the very first shot. So I've got 3 orange and this against the machine gunner. It's got a health of 5. 4, 5, just enough. And we've got the armor piercing ammo, which is sort of resilience of 2 lower, so it takes him down to 0. 5 health. I've done 5 damage. Boom. That's him done. That's Lobster pretty much done. But very, very good. Taken out 3 dudes. Let's activate Hellboy, who's going to move for 2 spaces. 1, 2. Do I do the big right hook or do we use the ancient blade? No, I think I'm good enough. I'm not going to use the big right hook. And then I'm going to fight for 1 with his ancient blade. I get 3 dice, 3 red dice as standard. And then because I'm using the ancient blade, I can get one of those upgraded to a black. Yep, let's do that. You've got a resilience of, now the resilience does kick in because I'm not using armor piercing. So let's see what we get. Oh, not great, Hellboy. Not great. So resilience of 1 does 3 damage. So the rifleman is down to 2 health. Not the greatest for Hellboy, which is a bit annoying. So he's going to have to use his last action. Hang on, what have we got here? Anything I can use? When Hellboy hits an enemy, that enemy may be hurled. I'm not going to hurl him. May be hurled. I could, if there were other models here, I could throw him in and do damage, but that's not going to. Now, do they take damage if I hurl them? No, I think I'm just going to hit him again. Yeah, third action. So fight twice with the ancient blade. Can do a re-roll, so I'll re-roll these 2. A resilience of 1, so we do 7 damage to him. That's better. Hellboy kills him. Okay. So we've got Abe left to go. Abe left to go. Abe, for his first action, is going to be to move him. Second action. Oops, daisy. Got my rule book there. Second action. I'm going to clear that frog spawn because they can get real annoying real fast. So we'll clear that. And then his third action, he's going to attempt to examine the clue. So he uses his observation or his exam. So what we do, we just roll the dice as normal. A 1 to 3 as a result, we'll grab the clue and we'll move it forward 1. If we roll over 6, we get to move the information track twice. So that's 4. We needed 6 really. Anything he can do. Don't think there's anything we can do there. So we remove that clue and we move the information track 1 along because we've investigated that clue. So that is it for the agents phase. We then go on to the rest phase, page 19. So the rest phase, it says in the rest phase, the agents have the option to gather their wits and recuperate, but it's at a cost. If there are any enemies on the board, then you don't have time to rest. So we're all right. We've got no enemies on the board, so we could rest if we want to. Otherwise, at the start of the phase, the players decide whether or not they will take time. The majority of the players must agree to this. If there's a split, then the lead agent has to casting vote. So taking time, basically you can do a rest action where you can investigate a clue counter in any explored area and advance the information gathered track twice. You then recuperate by rolling 2 red dice, and then heal damage for whatever the 2 red dice tell you. You can pick a single explored room on the board and remove all frog spawns and infernos from it. And you can prepare as well. At this point, you can freely trade any requisition cards. But then you have to move the impending doom forward. One thing I did forget to do, and I'm going to do it now, is to do the deep pockets for Hellboy. Flip this card during the agent phase to draw the bottom card of the requisition deck. Should have done that. Okay, let's give these a shuffle. Try not to look at them, because there are some that are double-sided. And then we'll do the obligatory cat weasel cut. And then we take the bottom one to find a grenade, ammo, or lucky card. Oh, that's a lucky card. Cigarettes. Hellboy's got some cigarettes. We flip that to there. And cigarettes says, if we take time, suffer 1 damage and discard this card, the impending doom track does not advance as a result of taking time. Oh, that's quite nice. Those are our requisition cards. Doom phase. Let's do the doom phase. Page 20. Just make sure. I'm going to do this in the first couple of rounds just to make sure I get everything done. So basically, Doom phase, we draw a card from the deck of Doom. And we've got Heavy Moon. This card targets the area that contains the most agents. Each agent in that area is targeted by a melee attack of value of 6. If they suffer any damage, they are stunned. Oh, God. That's nasty. Okay. So the room or the area that contains the most agents. Bear with. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got my things right. So area is this thing here. Room is this thing here. So it says the area that contains the most agents. Well, they've all got 1 in them. So clearly I'm going to choose Hellboy because his defense is orange rather than yellow for Lobster Johnson and the rest. So there's an attack of 6. We have got our lucky charm. See what we get. Oh my God. Right, so 2 blanks, a 2 and a skull, which means we remove the highest value. So we've actually saved none. Hellboy's saved none. So at that point, I will flip his lucky charm. It says flip this card to ignore all damage inflicted on your agent by a single attack or game effect. That's a game effect. So we'll flip it over. It says luck's run out. When the agent takes time, roll a yellow dice. On a blank, discard this card, otherwise flip it. Nice. So that Heavy Moon was really heavy. That goes there as a spent card. That hurt. Didn't really want to be using Hellboy's lucky charm right at the start of the turn. So then we go to the end phase. We refresh our action cubes. So we get all of our action cubes back. We resolve any infernos, which is fire. There's no fire on the board. Don't have to worry about that. We resolve any frog spawns. We don't need to worry about those. And any other effects. We don't have any other effects. So then we go to turn 2. And I think at sort of 52 minutes, we won't have time to fit another full round in before the hour's up. So I'll leave it there. We've done the setup. So everybody knows exactly what's going on in regards to the case file. We're heading towards the Nazi HQ. We took out a shed load of Nazis to start off with. That can go now. There's some cards here that have a remains in play effect, but we don't need to worry about that. That's gone. Hellboy nearly took 6 wounds from a Heavy Moon smacking. But we've done all right. We've got a clue there to investigate, which hopefully will get us one of these insight markers. And we're good to go. So anyway, let's wrap it up. 54 minutes or so. We'll call it there. I hope you're going to enjoy this playthrough. I love this game. Like I say, making sure I use the rule book to make sure I've not forgotten anything or missed any rules or anything like that. And let's see how we get on in episode 2 when we're heading towards the Nazi HQ. Remains for me to say, really appreciate the likes and subscriptions I'm getting. If you like what I'm doing, I really would appreciate any comments. Will really good. I love the comments. Done anything wrong? I play games on my own, so I'm bound to make mistakes. I make a lot of them, unfortunately. But I'm here to play. I'm here to put some models on the table, put some cards on the table, and have a bit of fun in the back cave. That's all I'm doing. But anyway, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. That would be fan-dabby-dozy. On that note, I'm going to say ta-da for now, and I'll see you on episode 2. Cheers.